All right, my friends, tonight we're going to go all the way back in the Wayback Machine to 1959. And we're going to talk about, once again, Vince Gironda, trainer to the stars. Now, this is kind of just a before and after picture of where he was a little bulkier on the left hand side and then he gets uh, more cut up on the right hand side. He was known for his cuts, especially in his day. Um, so this is written by Bob Heisey, who goes way back to the early 20 rep squat situation and the Heisey shrug and stuff like that. So it said Vince always favored the lighter, more slender type build, though for a time he did try his hand at the bulky type, but he returned to the lighter as being best for him. Later in the article, and there'll be pictures, there's one right there. There's showing his back development a little bit later on. His legs were never really phenomenal, in my opinion, and it may have to do with the way he never did back squats, but we'll talk about that. So he was born in the Bronx, actually, in 1917, and then real early in life he moved to Southern California, attended Burbank Public School, where he participated in track, cross country, and football. He actually did pretty good in track. He's interested in all types of athletics, has worked diligently in developing his body. The most noteworthy accomplishments was that he set some sort of a record in, I believe it was the shot put, but you can go back and check that panel. There he is at 18, and he'd been involved in athletics, but wasn't really weight training. He did, as weight training became very popular in the West Coast, he turned to this medium of training in 1938, 5 years after that photo, when he was 23. Made pretty rapid progress and was pleasantly surprised to find that this medium did such great wonders after he'd worked so hard at the other sports and really didn't get very far. So the first place that he trained in California was this YMCA. And he didn't train there for too long before he moved on to the Easton Brothers gym. So it's saying on the left, but it's going to be the next picture. Worth noting that Gironda first saw a preacher curl bench that was invented by the Easton Brothers here and brought the idea with him when he set up his own gym. Now, Vince is often it's said that he invented the preacher curl, but apparently not. So he opened up his own gym on Ventura Boulevard. This is the Easton Gym, and looks like a pretty crowded place. And it doesn't look real huge, but looks like it's got a good clientele there. So his studios operate in a very unique manner. Each member has a key, and the gym is available for training 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which there are some gyms that have that format these days. He lives in an apartment over the gym. He usually puts 12 to 14-hour days helping his members, finding time to train most every day also. He has no employees, cares nothing for more gyms, and is happy just to, be the master of this one particular gym, and that's what he did. He didn't try to, franchise out Vince's gym or anything like that. Kind of small place, but packed with equipment. So when they do come to him for advice, he'll say something like, train the body with all diligence, it's later than you think, or burn up the gab. And he goes back to sleep unless he becomes so wide awake that he can't sleep, and then he leads the advice seeker through such a workout that bothering him is forgotten for some time to come. It's a conventional type, really looks like a gym. It's filled with many beautiful pictures of the greats in the field, and so forth. And this is just kind of a depiction of Vince's attitude. He really didn't care what other people thought a lot of times. In fact, when Arnie first came to see him, and we discussed this in an older video, he told him he looked like a fat FUCK. So, some of the greats of the barbell game have trained under his eye are Monty Walford, Dom Giuliano, national champ Burt Elliott, and it talks about Burt pulling an Olympic lift that became made him a 165 division winner. Also, Larry Perks. And it goes on to talk about some of the stars and people from Hollywood and stuff that trained. That's Burt, and he did a lot of strongman type stuff too, besides his Olympic lifting. Um, and obviously, he trained at Vince's. So while visiting with Vince, I observed a man in his late 50s with a very good physique going through a thorough routine. I inquired as to who he was, found out that he was a movie script writer. George Washington Yates, a graduate of Oxford, and had been training some 10 years at the gym. And his body showed that the barbell trained body stays with you. He is like, he practices what he preaches, lives it daily. He's not a faddist. Um, yes, here he's doing some calf work on the old school straight up and down leg press, which you don't see those around too anymore. But he did like donkey calf raises. I'm not sure why he put that picture in the article, but usually trains from 5 to 6 days a week, alternating days on upper and lower. His favorite exercises are full lateral raises with dumbbells, which will show a picture of that, parallel dip with just body weight, one arm rows with 100 pounds, incline press with 90s, and one arm concentrated curls. His last upper body exercise is one he borrowed from Jack Dellinger, where he lies on the floor with a towel through the pulley, and it's talking about it's basically a tricep extension with that situation. There he is doing the laterals, and you could see it's almost like a combination of a front raise and laterals the way he has it. Occasionally, some leg raises are included in the workout. When they are used, a set of 50 is done. Lower body program includes a multiple set of compound sissy squats done with the heels elevated on an object and weight on the chest. Body leaning back, going down as far as possible with the hips and back held rigid. Next, the body is lowered into a parallel squat. While in this position, the shoulders lean well back and pelvic girdle. It goes into almost like you're bent over like a rainbow he's talking about. Now, here he is, and that's doing the sissy squats. And it's hard to do those with a lot of weight. Even doing them with body weight is, if you haven't done them, is kind of difficult. But he swore by them. Goes on to talk about just more details of that exercise. When in earnest training, Vince does 8 sets of 8 on upper body, and we have that routine. 8 sets of 20 on the lower body. If he trains merely for health, he cuts that about in half. There he is doing behind the neck chins, which is another thing he liked. And obviously that's in his gym. And, pretty cool old school gym, really. We did it. We had a tour of Vince's gym also in this playlist. He appears from time to time in the Maverick, Gunsmoke, and Cheyenne television series, and he's very popular with the movie crowd, and that's why so many of them have become part of his gym clientele. He enjoys reading immensely, spends a lot of time reading various materials, always trying to improve his mind. His favorite types of literature are biographies and autobiographies, Greek and Roman history, and nutritional stuff. Now, there's a good shot with him lying down, obviously, and pretty good arms and pecs there, and the legs aren't terrible. And for the time, nobody had really great legs in the 40s too much. He's a ready challenger of any athlete, no matter what field he represents, and he believes that weight trained men are superior athletes, and he's ready to back that up at any time. And it talks about that he goes to this. One of his friends was a caber tosser, Mr. Bragg, and would go to these Scottish Highland games. So that's a 16-foot log and weighs about 100 pounds. So Vince, having never done this before, decides to go in this contest. There he is, and actually comes in second place, I guess, in his weight class or whatever the category was. But for never having done it, that's pretty good. Um, was runner up in a sport that and this is when he was 43 years old also. So that was quite an accomplishment, and I must borrow an old phrase in the saying, weightlifters like cheese, they get better with age. And truly, barbell trained muscle functions more efficiently at any sport. And, you know, back in the early days, there's Clint Walker, who was one of his clients, and he was pretty rugged and built dude, too. But that, they used to say back in the old days that lifting weights made you slow, it made you muscle bound, etc. Not really true. Um, so that's about it for Vince. I thank you for watching. Uh, Thanks for hitting the like buttons if you do like the video, and if you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you did. Also, you'll get updates when I pop a new video up. So that's it. Thanks.